Let's take a look at the AFC West. Raiders lost today. So for Kansas City, if they can knock out San Diego with 3 games left, a 3-game lead, it could all be over. Brodie Croyle will start at quarterback for the Chiefs. Matt Cassel did not make the trip. He's out after having surgery on his appendix this week. 102nd overall meeting between these two teams. Kansas City leads the series 51-49 with 1 tie. Chiefs won the toss. They've elected to receive. Rookie Dexter McCluster back deep, and here we go. McCluster from the 5. And McCluster up to the 21-yard line where he's ridden down. And that is a return of 16 yards. Brandon Seiler with the tackle on special teams. So it brings in Brodie Croyle. Wow, what an opportunity. The former starting quarterback with this Kansas City squad. This is his first start since opening day of last year against the Baltimore Ravens when Matt Cassel was out after newly being acquired with a knee injury.
And he played very well in that Baltimore game. Even though the Chiefs did not end up winning, they scored 24 points against one of the best defenses of the decade.
First down and 10 of the 21. And they hand it off. This is Jones. And Thomas Jones moves to the 24-yard line. Louis Castillo with the tackle. Offensively for Kansas City, ranked 6th overall, 25th in passing, the #1 rushing team in the NFL.
At right tackle, Barry Richardson gets the starts his 3rd year, but he's only had 12 career starts, all of them this year. His improvement as a player has mirrored the Chiefs' improvement as a team. And of course, wide receivers Dwayne Bowe. He wears a red helmet because he's on fire. Even though he was shut out last week, had over 500 yards receiving just in November.
Second down and 7. Jamal Charles in the game. He turns the corner. A lot of running room. Lowers his shoulder and gets to the 32-yard line. Kason with the tackle. As for the San Diego Chargers, their defense ranked #1 overall in the NFL. They're #1 against the pass, 5th against the run.
Now down inside, Anthony Garay, 320-pound freestyle wrestler out of Rahway, New Jersey. He's a beast. Kevin Burnett told us there was some soul searching in that Charger locker room. Is this a coulda, shoulda, woulda team or a playoff team? We'll get an idea today. In the secondary, Eric Weddle grew up an hour north of San Diego. His entire family, huge Charger fans.
On first down, Chiefs electing to run the football. And it's Jamal Charles. He picks up a yard on the play. Garay, the nose tackle out of Boston College, coming up with the stop.
Yeah, I mentioned Garay in the open. His entire family has a huge family in Rahway. All of them, all the male members of that family are wrestlers. I mean, it's in his blood. The guy knows what to do down inside in a physical confrontation.
Second down and 9 at the 35. Cox and Thomas Jones line up in the backfield. Croyle hands it off to Thomas Jones. And what a beautiful tackle. Weddle comes up and takes his legs, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 11, a loss of 2.
Yeah, we spoke to Weddle on Friday. You know, you can tell the guy's vocabulary has nothing but football terms in it. He knows what the offense is doing. He studies film. He diagnoses plays extremely well. There you see him coming up, making the play. That's exactly what a safety's supposed to do. The quicker they react, the shorter the run game. When your secondary makes tackles, usually it's a long game.
3rd down and 11 at the 33-yard line. Croyle is yet to pass the ball. Jamal Charles, a single setback, and they fire it outside. Copper with the catch, but it won't be enough. No gain as Dante Hughes comes up and makes the tackle, and that'll force Kansas City to punt it away.
Well, it's a good way to get Croyle started with an easy reception, but you really need more room. 3rd and long, that's a play that really doesn't look to me like you're going to get 10 yards out of it. This Chiefs team, they don't turn it over. They play good defense, but sometimes they're a little too conservative.
So Dustin Colquitt, standing inside his own 20, will punt. Antoine Cason. Back deep, left-footed punter. Wobbly kick in the air. Cason will get an opportunity from the 19. Gets outside, spinning, still on his feet. And he crosses the 30 and gets to the 34. A 48-yard punt, a 15-yard turn Tucker with the tackle. And here comes Dollar Phil. No score from San Diego as the Chargers will get their first opportunity. 85 degrees and sunny here in Southern California. First down and 10 at the 33-yard line for Philip Rivers and the Chargers. Ryan Matthews in the backfield, and they give it to him running straight ahead, and the rookie out of Fresno State will gain 4 yards on the play. So Philip Rivers last week in the 28-13 loss to Oakland, his numbers 23 of 39, 280, a touchdown. He was sacked 4 times. So Philip Rivers is a gambling style quarterback, one of the elite in the NFL, and he knows how important this game is.
Well, a couple more games in the win column for the Chargers, and this guy's the front runner for the MVP.
Second down and 6 at the 37. Ryan Matthews in the backfield, and they hand it off to him. Running straight ahead, he crosses the 40, gets to the 41. So offensively for the Chargers, they rank second in the NFL, second in passing, 19th in rushing.
The right guard, Tyrone Green, will get the start for Luis Vasquez, who's out with a knee. Makes his 6th start of the season for the Chargers up front. And of course, number 83, Vincent Jackson, had a long holdout, had a suspension, was injured after 1 game in his return, has 0 catches. With Antonio Gates out of the lineup, this guy could really help the Chargers.
Gates out of the lineup with a foot injury. So Philip Rivers is looking for another big target. It may be Jackson, and they give it to him on the reverse. Jackson with a first down, and Vincent Jackson out of bounds at the 45. Rookie Eric Berry pushes him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 14 and a first down.
Yeah, this is a misdirection, and this is something the Chargers get a look at early. The Chiefs are very fast, physical, and you see the block by Rivers. I'll tell you, it's a good thing. You know, you get that guy coming out. Sometimes defensive linemen like Studebaker, the out linebacker, he'll take an extra shot at that quarterback on that reverse if he tries to throw a block, but Rivers did a nice job.
And that's the first touch of the season for Vincent Jackson. First down at the 44. He gained 14 yards. Darren Sproles in the backfield. Here's Rivers underneath, and it's caught. And a nice piece of running by Sproles after the catch, and he's coming off of a concussion in the lineup today. Defensively for Kansas City, ranked 16th in the NFL, 12th against the run, 21st against the pass.
Down inside, 72, Glenn Dorsey is his 43rd start as a Chief. He doesn't get a lot of big numbers, but because of his steady play, a lot of guys play better around him, like this guy, Tom Bahali, 10 sacks. It's a career high. He's also got 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. That turnovers he's forced has really been a difference in the Chiefs secondary. And in the back end, Eric Berry, rookie out of Tennessee. Philip Rivers likes that guy. He's a good safety.
Here's Rivers on the play action fake. Buying time, and he'll scramble out of the pocket and go out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Tom Bahali chasing Rivers.
And we spoke to Philip Rivers on Friday, and as he runs out of bounds, he noticed the young safety for the Chiefs, Eric Berry, and he said, you know, you see guys play, and I study film a lot. This guy gets it. He's a young player, and even now, just 3/4 of the way through his first season, he is so much better than he was on opening day when these two teams met.
Last week he had 10 tackles, 6 solos. He's second on the team with 97 tackles overall, 61 solos, 2 sacks and 2 picks. Third down and 2 at the 36. Rivers lines up in the shotgun. Empty backfield. He steps up with time. He'll run it and pick up the first down at the 31. So Philip Rivers gains 4 yards on third down and 2 and picks up the first.
Yeah, neither side of the ball is going to be happy with this play. You'll see the Chiefs get everybody lined up to the right side of the offense. There's no defensive end on the left. Fillers actually goes out to the right where the Chiefs had all their guys and managed to get the first down. He didn't like the route that was run on the outside. Both sides of the line of scrimmage a little bit questionable on that play.
First down, opening drive for San Diego. At the Kansas City 32, Ryan Matthews in the backfield now. They hand it to him. He cuts it back and won't go. Oh, nice piece of running after contact as he falls down and gets to the 26. He picks up 4. Eric Berry McGraw with the tackle. So let's take a look. do-or-die game for the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, it really is, and this is what they have left. Only, 9 wins between the 3 teams they have left on their schedule. They've got the easiest road between the teams in the AFC West. North Turner, this is a team that has finished strong the last few years. It's tougher, though, this year.
Second down and 6 at the 28-yard line. And Rivers with a handoff to Sproles. And Sproles wrestled down. Not a lot of room there for Darren Sproles. He may have gained a yard as Derek Johnson, who's having a terrific season, brings him down.
Yeah, you look at this last year, last week, this is what happened to Sproles against the Oakland Raiders. Suffered a concussion after this hit from Roland McClain. It's a little questionable during the week, but we came out, saw him catching some punts on Friday, looked back to his old self. Obviously carrying the load in the early going for the Chargers today. Looks 100%.
Ninth play of the drive. It started at the 33-yard line. Third down and 5. At the Kansas City 27, Rivers steps up underneath. It's caught. Vincent Jackson gains 10 yards. Eric Berry dropped him. Remember, Vincent Jackson had 68 catches for over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns as he went to the Pro Bowl last year.
Yeah, well, this is his first catch of the season. We saw him run on the reverse earlier, but if you want to wonder why Vincent Jackson hasn't had the kind of season he wanted to, it's his own fault. A holdout, a suspension, all kinds of problems, but he's back in the game finally, really for the first time this season. He was played 2 weeks ago, but went out with an injury.
Calf injury has been a problem for Vincent Jackson. First down and 10. At the 17. Rivers throwing in the corner. Touchdown! Malcolm Floyd, 17 yards, and the Chargers waste no time. They march it right down the field and score on their opening drive.
Great throw by Rivers. Found Floyd working against Flowers on the outside, just gets manned up, and you see that route. Floyd was lined up way inside the numbers with a lot of space to the outside. Really tough route to defend. Flowers is right there, but when you have a great throw from a quarterback like that, it's tough to defend.
Extra point up and good. Phillip Rivers has now thrown a touchdown in 12 of 13 games this season, and the Chargers strike blood first, taking a 7-0 lead against Kansas City. Spectacular view of the Coronado Bridge, and now the San Diego Chargers with a 7-0 lead. Malcolm Floyd with his 5th receiving touchdown of the year. McCluster from the 11. Dexter with some running room, and all the way up to the 39-yard line for the impressive rookie out of Ole Miss. A 28-yard return. Seiler again with a tackle on special teams. Malcolm Floyd having a great year, Steve.
Yeah, he really is. And look, this is what happened. Is right here, a short route. That's going to give Floyd all this area to work this route. Brandon Flowers going to try and stay with him. And there's just too much space and too much room for Phillip Rivers to put a perfect throw in there to the outside. Floyd just gives him enough room on the outside. I mean, that's a key right there. When you get a wide receiver with that much space, one-on-one coverage, really makes it difficult for the defensive back to really make a difference.
First down and 10 at the 39. Jake O'Connell, Thomas Jones line up in the offset eye. Here's Jones. Oh, and he is stuffed and taken down. What a terrific hit by Garay. A loss of 1.
Yeah, Garay working on Casey Wigman right here. You'll see it as this play comes forward. He's just going to get up in there. Was in the offset right in the guard center gap, and it's a lot to ask Wegman to get over there against Garay. Garay's right there, and Jones doesn't have anywhere to run. Garay just plays the gap and makes the tackle. What a great physical play.
Second down and 11 at the 38. Croyle will throw, looks backside, now underneath. And Brody Croyle finds Jamal Charles. Stephen Cooper making the tackle now. In our marquee matchup today, A storyline to watch is the Chiefs' top-ranked rush offense, led by Jamal Charles and Thomas Jones, going up against the Chargers defense that gave up 251 rushing yards to the Raiders last week.
Well, we'll see. The NFL, Gus, a weakness can turn into a strength in the course of 1 week of practice, and right now the Chargers look a lot better than they did a week ago against Oakland.
3rd down and 7 at the 42. Boyaki in motion, and here's the throw. It's incomplete. Brody Croyle under pressure, throwing that one high, intended for Copper.
And the Chargers have brought some extra pressure up inside. Watch the linebackers X up in the middle. That's Cooper and Burnett rushing up inside, and that forces Croyle not really to be able to step up right inside. And Croyle can feel it coming around his back, and of course right there you see Cooper flashing right in his face as he releases that football. They're sending extra pressure on passing downs.
Dustin Colquitt punting. Kaysen back deep. And he signals for the fair catch. And has it at the 7-yard line. A 50-yard punt, but a flag is at the 48.
This is going to be a hold against the Chargers, which is going to back them way up.
During the kick, holding number 59, receiving team. Half the distance from the goal from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st down San Diego. Timeout.
3:55 to go in the 1st quarter. Phillip Rivers will have to play with a long field. In the game now, running the football, and he picks up 3 yards on his first carry. Ron Edwards with the tackle. But when we went to the Chargers facility on Friday, you could feel, Steve, the intensity and the sense of urgency coming from this.
No wild card, nothing. The fast finish that they had in years past means nothing to them. They've got to win today.
2nd down and 7 to the 8-yard line, and the handoff. Tolbert again, and the big fella out of Coastal Carolina gains 7. Eric Berry with the tackle. Let's take a look at the playoff scenario as the Chargers battle the Kansas City Chiefs today.
That's right. You can see here with San Diego at 6-6. They've got to win today because they don't have the tiebreaker with Kansas City. If they lose today, Kansas City has the tiebreaker and a 3-game lead with 3 to play. They can't catch them. And with the Raiders losing today, it gives a little less pressure to the Chiefs and the Chargers and one less team to worry about.
1st down and 10 to the 15. Tolbert again over the left side, trying to turn the corner, and will not be able to. Terrific pursuit by Brandon Carr, who's having a sensational season. The 3rd-year man out of Grand Valley State. That's the GLIAC. GLIAC football, Wayne State, Ferris State, Grand Valley State in Michigan.
Yeah, we spoke to Brandon Carr yesterday. Quiet guy, just trying to find his way out there. Just, you know, just loves playing football. It's fun to talk to him. Just, he seems so young, so energetic. Fun to watch him play. He's great Chiefs little secondary here.
2nd down and 6. Rivers underneath. Nice catch by Malcolm Floyd. That ball thrown behind him, but he managed to control it at the 25. Brandon Carr with the tackle. And, you know, we talk about Brandon Carr. He's quietly had a standout season for the Chiefs. Opponents have completed less than 40% of passes thrown in his direction, and he leads the NFL with 18 passes defensed, including 5 last week against the Denver Broncos.
My guy Brandon can't catch. You see it at a highlight. He's had his hands on a lot of footballs this year, which speaks to his ability. He just can't catch.
No interceptions. 1st down and 10 to the 26. Here's Rivers over the middle. Randy McMichael. And Randy McMichael, the former Pro Bowler out of Miami. Stopped by Derek Johnson. And it's a gain of 11. And what a nice player to have on your roster when you're without Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer Antonio Gates.
Well, there's no accident that they've got a guy that's really good behind Antonio Gates. You know, McMichael, you know, everybody says, well, Gates is out of the game. McMichael, you can have your backup. Let me tell you something. The only difference is how the defense treats McMichael. McMichael can play. He's a good tight end, a starting quality tight end. But the defense will treat him differently than they do Gates. That's what Rivers has to figure out.
First down and 10 at the 37. And it's Matthews. And the rookie, maybe a yard on the play. Tyson Jackson defensively for KC. And talk about injuries. Wow, this is San Diego Charger team riddled with injuries. Patrick Creighton with the wrist. Antonio Gates with a foot, hamstring. Vincent Jackson playing with the calf.
Yeah, Legadou Nene was out, but he's not quite out. He's the third quarterback today, the emergency quarterback, but you're not going to see Nene out there at all today.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the score of the Chargers 7, the Chiefs nothing. We'll return to San Diego right after this. Seven to nothing Chargers. Fast first quarter. We're ready to start the second. San Diego 2nd and 9 at their own 38. Rivers dumps it off to Matthews. And Matthews still on his feet. And he goes down at the 44-yard line. Brandon Carr with the stop, but it's a 6-yard gain.
Matthews coming out of the backfield here. He's going to catch this pass. And one of the things, he's in there with Mike Tolbert switching up and out of the rotation. Matthews a lot faster than Tolbert, but Tolbert does not turn the football over. Matthews riddled like that, like a lot of young running backs are. Sometimes have trouble hanging on to the football earlier in their career. Matthews suffered from that early this season. Tolbert taking over for him. Both of them getting it done.
Chargers faced with a 3rd down and 3 at the 44. Rivers in the shotgun. Here's Phillip Rivers, dumps it off again, and Matthews can't hold on. And a flag on the play thrown late in the secondary. And it will go against San Diego, excuse me.
Yeah, they throw the screen pass. The receivers go down the field and start blocking as though Matthews caught the ball and was running behind him.
Pass interference, number 88, offense. Penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
That's Chris Wilson.
And that's a timing issue. And if the ball was caught, it probably wouldn't be an issue. But see right here, he's going to come down. You see him blocking the linebacker right there. You can't come out and make contact like that down the field. He's blocking downfield illegally.
Javier Arenas ready to return the punt. Mike Cyphers lets it go, and he drills this one. What a rocket out of bounds. So Kansas City will have it at the 20-yard line, down 7-0. And welcome back, 7-0 San Diego with the lead over the Chiefs, and Brody Croyle in for Matt Castle with the football at the 20-yard line. He's 2 of 3, 3 yards. On first down, Croyle to throw, spins out of trouble, and he's tracked down. Terrific job by the Chargers as Larry English and Nuabo get to it.
And this is one of the things Todd Haley spoke to us about. If we can just keep from getting negative plays, this a huge sack, minus 12 yards, which is a crusher for a Chiefs team trying to find its rhythm offensively. That's a huge play for the Chargers.
A loss of 12, 2nd down at 22 at the 8. Chargers showing blitz. Charles, and he spins and gets to the 12-yard line, a 4-yard gain, so it'll be 3rd down and long. And when you look at what has taken place with this Kansas City squad this week, I mean, some strange circumstances with Matt Castle.
Well, he came in Wednesday, went to an early quarterback meeting, wasn't feeling well, and it started to get worse and worse, and they sent him to the doctor. Todd Haley said, you know, check his, it was Haley who said, you know, you better check his appendix. And they did, and ended up having to have his appendix out on Wednesday afternoon, and that, of course, put the kibosh on playing this week. But it was interesting because Brody Croyle got all the reps at practice. He got a full week of practice to prepare for this game.
3rd down and 18 at the 12. Croyle underneath. Caught. Moyaki, the tight end, but he won't have enough for the first down as he gets close to the 20. Paul Oliver trips him up, a 7-yard gain, so the Chiefs will have to punt it away.
Yeah, the sack on first down was what really did the Chiefs in. They managed to get almost all of that sack yardage back, but that's not enough to get the extra 10 for the first down. They're going to have to punt it away for the third straight time. 3 and out for the Chiefs.
Dustin Colquitt stands at the 5-yard line. Kaysen at the 30. Kaysen comes up to field it at the 31, slips and is driven down hard. A 49-yard punt. No return. Verran Tucker with the tackle on special teams. But San Diego's defense causing a lot of problems for KC. Chargers up 7-zip. Philip Rivers 6 of 7, 58 yards and a touchdown. His one incompletion was a drop. He's hit 5 different receivers already. From the 31, first down. Tolbert cuts it back, and he's gobbled up quickly. Nice looking play by Sean Smith. A loss of 1. You vote they play. Send your favorite players to the 2011 Pro Bowl. Vote online or on your mobile phone. Voting ends Monday, December 20th. Go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl or search Pro Bowl ballot and vote today.
There's a guy that's going to go. Philip Rivers. Phenomenal year with a lot of injuries around him.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, second down and 11 at the 30. Rivers steps up underneath. Tolbert with the catch. And Tolbert crosses the 40, gets to the 43. Derek Johnson with the tackle, but it's a gain of 12.
It's a nice run. You see that? One of those guys that's going to come out of the backfield. Philip Rivers, I mean, there's so many injuries to this offense. Guys getting opportunities. Rivers has thrown more passes to different people than any quarterback in the league. 16 different guys have caught a pass. And now, with Vincent Jackson catching one today, it's 17 guys. It's amazing how Philip Rivers has been able to play so well with a roster that's flushed through that much.
Got to give this San Diego management team some credit for being able to plug the hole, Steve. That must be awfully hard to do as Tolbert runs it.
It is, and they've done an outstanding job. You look at that, San Diego, 17 players, different players have caught a pass. And of course, all of those passes from Philip Rivers. You know, Nene is out, you know, and Creighton is out today. All these guys are missing, and then they've been missing in and out of the lineup with Vincent Jackson in and out, just catching a football today. There's A.J. Smith, the great general manager and talent evaluator of this Chargers. They're a talented bunch because of that guy right there.
Second down and 9 at the 44. Play action. Rivers sets up deep in the pocket. Now Rivers to the sideline, incomplete. Vincent Jackson, closest man to the football.
And that's an okay play. Philip Rivers, we spoke to him on Friday, and we asked, you know, how these guys in and out. He goes, listen, I don't care. He goes, I'll just tell them what to do. And he said, you know, forget about learning numbers and plays. You talk about guys like Kelly Washington, Chris Wilson, tight ends. All these guys, Shea Ejiro-Tutu, all these guys come in, and Philip Rivers said, listen, I'll just line them up, and I'll just tell them. I'll say, you run this, you run that, you run that. Just draw plays up in the dirt, and Philip Rivers is the kind of gunslinging quarterback that's perfect for that.
Third down and 9 at the 44. San Diego 3 of 4 on third down conversion. Sproles in the backfield. Rivers with time, dances, throws, caught Jackson. And Vincent Jackson found a nice soft spot. Derek Johnson brings him down. It's a first down and a gain of 19.
Well, that's why Philip Rivers is so good. I mean, he doesn't run. He's a pure pocket passer. But even when he gets out of pressure, watch as he moves out to his right. He keeps his eyes down the field, doesn't run too much, just buys enough time to find Jackson. You see there, Holly comes right up the tube, right in his face. He just runs away and finds his guy. Sensational play by a quarterback, still getting it done.
Vincent Jackson all week, but doesn't look like it's hurting him right now. Tolbert running, and Tolbert, whoa, look at the nice yardage gained after contact. He picks up 9 yards on the play, and Mike Tolbert looks like a Marion Butts, Natron Means type running back we always see in San Diego.
You know, it's fun to watch running backs and the differences in it. Mike Tolbert from Coastal Carolina, he's a free agent. And then you got his buddy, his running mate, Ryan Matthews, who's a first-round draft pick out of Fresno State. Both these guys bring different things to the table, but what's in that guy's, underneath that guy's pads is what makes the difference.
Second down and 1. The inside handoff, Jacob Hester. It was really neat when we talked to Mike Tolbert in practice on Friday, after practice on Friday, and you know, he'll be a restricted free agent at the end of the season, and he's been getting those nods from guys in the management team.
He's starting to hear whispers about, you know what, we may need this guy long term. You know, let's not be too quick to kick Coastal Carolina off the roster, man. We might need him, and he has played extremely well and has really been one of the reasons the Chargers have been able to keep it going after their slow start.
First down and 10 at the 26. Now Rivers over the middle, wide open, Malcolm Floyd. And Floyd will be down, lost the ball, but San Diego there, Jacob Hester jumps on it, 18-yard pickup for the Chargers. Kendrick Lewis, the rookie safety, with the tackle.
Well, Lewis is going to come up. They just completely leave Floyd uncovered. So blown coverage, he comes up, and then as you see there it is, the ball was out, rolls right between Hester's feet, just right beside him. He gets it. That could have been an enormous turnover for the Chargers, but it ends up being a great 18-yard play.
Brings up first down and goal for San Diego at the Kansas City 8-yard line. The handoff, Tolbert around the corner, touchdown, Superchargers.
One of the things about this San Diego team, and we've mentioned them a lot, Malcolm Floyd, Vincent Jackson, they're big receivers, both 6'5". Vincent Jackson, you're going to see him at the end. Jackson is holding Brandon Carr right at the goal line, 6'5", like you can't get off that block to come up and help on that play. Once they get to the corner, look at this block.
And the extra point is good. 6:47 to play in the first half. San Diego with a 14-0 lead over Kansas City. $14-0. Chargers, 6:47 to play. Second quarter as Kansas City prepares to receive. The Chargers for 16 minutes and 10 seconds. Kansas City, 7 minutes and 3. And the Chiefs will take a knee and start from the 20. Big Mike Tolbert, not only can he run the rock, he's got some moves as well. Look at him, snaking it out. 14-0 Chargers. Mike Tolbert, Antonio Gates, the tandem. They are the only team in the NFL with a rusher and receiver with 10 touchdowns each this season, as Tolbert just scored his 10th. Antonio Gates has 10 touchdowns. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line now for Kansas City. They have one first down in this game. Here's the handoff. Jamal Charles with room. And he gets all the way up to the 30. A 10-yard gain. Kaysen with the tackle. And that's a first down for the Chiefs.
And we look at that drive that the Chargers just put together. 9 plays, 69 yards, 5 minutes off the clock. Really looked efficient. Norv Turner, always been an offensive-minded guy. He's got that demeanor that nothing ever seems to get under his skin. He's got a fire that burns very quietly, and his players appreciate it.
First down to the 30-yard line. Charles again. And talk about a fire that burns very quietly but explosively as well. Charles, he just signed a new contract, according to reports, out of Kansas City. Got over $30 million. And this man continues to have good year after good year, and he's still a young player. Check it out.
Look at this. Look at these guys. O.J. Simpson, Barry Sanders, and Jim Brown, and Jamal Charles for the highest per rush average for a season. That's an enormous number.
Second down and 4 at the 36. Croyle rolls out of the pocket. He's got time. Throws on the run. Nice throw and a very solid catch. Moyaki, the rookie tight end out of Iowa, gains 6 yards as Dante Hughes knocks him out of bounds.
Moyaki, a really promising young rookie tight end who's been a big difference maker for the Chiefs. Matt Castle has learned to trust him. Brody Croyle going to him on that play. And anytime you can turn it up as a tight end and get a defensive back, take one little opportunity to punish him for later in the game when he might not want to tackle you.
First down at the 41-yard line. Here's a handoff. Charles again. And Jamal Charles picks up a couple. Garay with the tackle. Now these two teams met at a rainy Arrowhead Stadium in week 1. The Chiefs got ahead on 2 long touchdowns. A Jamal Charles 56-yard run and a Dexter McCluster franchise record 94-yard punt return. The Chiefs goal line stand at the end of the game sealed the deal as they won the season opener 21-14. The win set the tone for the Chiefs, who are still a perfect 6-0 at Arrowhead this year. Croyle drops back, fires down the field, and incomplete. Dwayne Bowe, the intended receiver. New England and Chicago battling today. Here's James Brown with an NFL update in New York.
Hey, Gus. Opportunistic certainly describes the Patriots. Take a look here as Cutler hooks up with Johnny Knox. Knox fumbles the ball. And yes, an opportunistic defense. Gary Guyton picks it up. He returns it 35 yards for the score. That makes it 21-0 New England over Chicago in the second. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker.
New England is red hot at the right time of year, even in the snow.
Third down and 8 at the 43. Croyle with time underneath, caught, but it won't be enough. Dwayne Bowe with the reception. Stephen Cooper brings him down on 3rd and 8. They get 3, and Kansas City will have to punt it away.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of those routes you kind of settle as a quarterback. You're going to find Bowe, but this is a route you settle for rather than want. You got to get the first down at the depth, and sometimes you're just not there. Chargers doing a great job defensively thus far against the Chiefs.
So Colquitt stands at the 31, and Kaysen at his own 10. And he's signaling for a fair catch, and he has it inside the 20 at about the 18. 35-yard punt. It's snowing in Chicago. A lot different day here in Southern California. 14-0 Chargers. And the MetLife Blimp is providing today's aerial coverage. Look for the MetLife Blimps as we team up with CBS for more coverage this season.
Look around the NFL. Every other stadium had terrible weather, it seemed. Not here in San Diego. I'm so glad we're doing this game.
First down and 10 of the 19 for Phillip Rivers. He hands it off to Tolbert. Breaks it back with running rooms. Oh, powerful running by Mike Tolbert as he crosses the 35 to the 37 and gains 18. Kendrick Lewis with the tackle.
You know, we spoke to the Chiefs just yesterday, and Todd Haley must have used the word physical in our interview about 10 times. But right here, the Chargers come out with an enormous chip on their shoulder, and there's no question they're the more physical team today here in San Diego. The Chiefs play that way, but today the Chargers are taking it to them.
Tolbert, 8 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown. First down at the 37. They give it to him again. He gets around the corner. And Tolbert over the 40 up to the 44. A 6-yard pickup as Brandon Flowers managed to bring him down.
Yeah, the Chargers are doing their imitation of the Chiefs. I mean, they're running the football hard. Tolbert, a physical run. Now Ryan Matthews comes in. One of the differences between secondary, they may not catch him.
Second down at 4 at the 43. Coming down to the 2-minute warning. McMichael's in motion. Matthews, he gets outside. And Matthews Gets inside Kansas City territory. A gain of 9. Takes us to the 2-minute warning as Berry and Carr come up with the tackle. 14-0 San Diego. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Great shot of Mission Bay here in San Diego. Chargers playing well. From the 48-yard line, first down. Play fake. Rivers over the middle. Incomplete. Malcolm Floyd, the intended receiver. And that brings up second down and 10.
Yeah, you can see the two of them. They're kind of laughing. That was a pass they think they could complete. Philip Rivers just didn't get that out there far enough. He kind of one-hopped it in there. And look at that. 6 receivers have caught a pass. 6 different guys have run the football. You talk about a multiple offense. And you can say, well, you know, all those guys run it. Philip Rivers manages this game very well, and Norv Turner gives him a lot of different weapons to use.
208 total yards for San Diego. 100 rushing, 108 passing. Second down and 10. Here they go around the corner. And Ryan Matthews runs into a crowd after gaining 5 yards. Johnson, closest man to the football.
Yeah, you'll see it. He runs into a crowd because he brings a crowd with him. Watch the offensive line. All those big guys get out right in front of him. He turns up the field, and it looks like a blue snowplow headed up into the Chiefs' defense. That was student body left. And that's a physical run.
Third down and 5 at the 43. Darren Sproles in the backfield with Philip Rivers. Rivers steps up, finds Sproles. And Sproles close to the first down. Let's see where he stepped out of bounds. Looks like they'll give it to him in front of Brandon Carr. So on 3rd and 5, he gets 6.
Wow, that's a great throw by Philip Rivers. It looks easy, but when you're running forward and the guy you're throwing to is running forward, you still have to lead him. Philip Rivers running forward, sees Sproles at a dead run, hits him right in stride. What a touch pass. That's a tough throw for a quarterback, and Philip Rivers made it look so easy.
First down and 10 at the 37. It's inside the 30. Picks up 9 yards on the play. Derek Johnson wrapping him up along with Javier Arenas.
Well, it's one of the things the Chiefs, this young secondary, has learned, and they learned it early. Do not let anything get deeper than you. We don't want to give up any explosive plays, and it's forcing Rivers to throw the football short, taking what they're giving him. Sooner or later, though, the Chiefs, if they lose discipline, the Chargers will go over the top.
Got a sports fan on your gift list? CBSSports.com. Shop as officially licensed NFL gear and get 3-day shipping on every order. Just go to shop.cbssports.com. Todd Haley, what a job he's done. Only his 2nd year, and he's got this team on top of the division, playing hard and physical and disciplined football. Second down and 1 at the 28. Sproles. And Sproles breaks free. Spins and goes down inside the 10. Eric Berry with the saving tackle. But for a player that had a concussion this time last week, Darren Sproles looks terrific.
He sure does, and all 3 of the backs for the Chargers getting it done. Aaron, you can see how hard it is. Darren Sproles, now he won't break many tackles, but more guys, as you see there, he runs through an arm tackle. Not too many guys can get their hands on him. When he gets in there, he has that ability to plant, put that foot in the ground, and change direction so fast. What a great complimentary run.
And don't forget, coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB and company for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
And that's been the difference today. The running game for the Chargers has been physical, productive, and because they've got the lead, they can keep handing it to all 3 of those backs. They've got a fresh guy in there all the time, and Sproles is completely different than the other 2 guys.
First down and goal at the 9-yard line for San Diego. 45 seconds remaining. Chargers still have a timeout left. Rivers in the end zone. Oh, touchdown! Malcolm Floyd again.
Well, you saw the Chiefs kind of waving that off. He's working against Javier Arenas. He didn't. Watch, he catches this and pulls it right in. Oh, and if it hits the ground, there's no way they're going to let that stand. And I think this might, well, I don't know. It's hard to say. It can move as long as it doesn't move when it's against the ground and before he gets out of bounds. And I think that ball is going to come back and be an incomplete pass. And I think Todd Haley will, I think it's a good challenge if he throws it. We'll see.
First challenge of the day. Welcome back as Malcolm Floyd gets his left shoulder massaged on the sideline. We have a booth review under 2 minutes to go as we take another look.
You'll see when this ball, when he comes down, this is a close-up look. If that ball, if he's got control of it, there's no issue. But you see here, the ball rolls right there off his arm. Now he snags it, but by then I believe it's too late. You have to have indisputable evidence to reverse the call, and the call on the field was a touchdown, and that's important in this case. But to my eyes, that cannot stand as a touchdown.
Sure, Norv Turner would disagree with you, but Todd Haley would agree with you 100%. Take another look.
Yeah, if I was a head coach, my call on these has been bad all year. I never get these right, but to me, there's no way. See, that ball pops out and moves on the ground. That has to be reversed, in my opinion.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's a touchdown.
Well, there you go. I'm now 0 for what, 25 on the year?
Malcolm Floyd. He'll take it 9 plays, 81 yards. They scored 258 and second touchdown for Floyd. Albeit a controversial one.
Yeah, and you could tell Floyd went down. He did not get up exuberant. He was hurt when he went down.
Extra point up and good for Nate Kading. Another look. You be the judge. So Floyd will head into the locker room early to have that left shoulder looked at. 2 touchdowns for Malcolm, 5th-year player out of Wyoming in the first half. San Diego really taking it to Kansas City, 21-0 for Norv Turner's team.
I'll tell you what, Philip Rivers, what a career he's putting together here in San Diego.
Nate Kading will kick it away. Dexter McCluster, the deep man for the Chiefs. And McCluster from the 5. And McCluster crosses the 20 and gets to the 24-yard line before being stopped. So Philip Rivers, when you compare him to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Dan Fouts, our colleague at CBS.
That's a 3-year span. Dan Fouts had 87 touchdowns in 79-81. Of course, there you just see it. 88 touchdowns in 3 years. Wow. And he's not done.
Rivers 12 of 15 today, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns, both to Floyd. First down and 10 of the 23 for Brody Croyle and the Kansas City Chiefs. Croyle to the sideline, incomplete. Ball intended for Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah, the Chiefs need a spark offensively right now. Philip Rivers sitting over there with 21. There you go. There's the first San Diego quarterback with more than 25 touchdown passes in 3 straight years. I mean, that's, whenever you talk about San Diego Chargers and quarterback, you're just talking about Dan Fouts in this place, and now it's going to be Philip Rivers and Dan Fouts.
So the Chargers have answered the bell in the first half. 2nd and 10, Croyle. Over the middle. Caught. Still on his feet. And this is Copper down the sideline. And Copper out of bounds at the 38.
Yeah, watch the pressure here. The Chargers is a four-man rush. Up late, you see it coming right up the tube. It's Von Martin. Boom, right at the feet of Croyle. That really bothers a quarterback. When you get guys in around his feet, he can't step into it. He's worried about his knees, worried about injury. That really bothers a quarterback's mind to make a good throw.
A 16-yard gain. First down at the 39. Croyle steps up into pocket. Lets it go. Charles trying to get to the sideline, and he will not. Nice open field tackle after a 5-yard gain. And the Chiefs will call a timeout.
Chiefs desperately need to score some points to go into halftime with some type of spark, but with 11 seconds at their own 44-yard line, it doesn't look good. And this is not a team that Todd Haley built to come from behind. They're a play good defense, don't turn it over, win tight game kind of football team, and it served them well. 8-4 on the season, leading the division has gotten them to this point. But when you get into a game against a hot Chargers club who scored 21 points on you in the first half, you kind of got to throw that out the window.
Second down and 5 at the 44. Brody Croyle looking over the middle, incomplete.
Yeah, that's just a bad, inaccurate throw. Dwayne Bowe running a deep end, about 25 yards down the field, looking to complete something to get him into field goal range, and Croyle throws that one way over his head. Croyle's got a strong arm. He can make any throw you name, but his accuracy has not been where they want it right now.
Third down 5 at the 44. Brody Croyle getting an opportunity to start for the first time since week 1 of last year against the Baltimore Ravens. 5 seconds to go, maybe the final play of the first half. Croyle in trouble, and he's sacked. More pressure being applied. Antoine Barnes as well as Garay in on the play. 21-0 San Diego. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and the word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. And welcome back to San Diego, where the Superchargers have a 21-0 halftime lead over the Chiefs. Hi everybody, Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. We talked about a sense of urgency for San Diego coming into this football game. We saw it on all 3 sides of the football in the first half.
Absolutely, and it was really surprising to me that the physical presence they brought to bear. They lost the opening game of the year to these Chiefs, and they came in with a big chip on their shoulder. Their backs are against the wall. They've got something to prove. They took it on the chin last week from the Oakland Raiders. They showed up big today in the first half.
So with that in mind, let's take a look at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola.
Well, as Philip Rivers drops back to put this play, he's got good protection, and he finds Malcolm Floyd in the back of the end zone. For the second time in the first half, these two hook up, and then it was ruled a touchdown, and it was upheld under review. The officials here at halftime told us that they felt that Malcolm Floyd had his hand underneath the football, even though it was rolling around against his body there. The play was reviewed and upheld as a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Philip Rivers, 2 Malcolm Floyd in the first half.
So Todd Haley and the Chiefs having to make some adjustments, and they will send it away for this San Diego Chargers team that is hitting on all cylinders. Sproles back deep. He'll bring it out of his own end zone. And Sproles over the 20. Oh, some major collisions going on. A 27-yard return. DeMario Williams with the tackle on special teams. Let's take a look. Remember, Sproles had a concussion last week.
Yeah, I spent a lot of years doing that, Gus, and it looks like what it is. It's a car wreck. I mean, it hurts. And you get these guys in there and you see them, things move so fast on special teams. Guys are running full speed and they pop out of nowhere. Even a guy as quick and agile as Darren Sproles can't always dodge it.
So that brings up first down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Ryan Matthews, the rookie, in the backfield. They give it to him, and he's chopped down, but continues to go forward. A nice piece of tackling, Eric Berry. We keep talking about this rookie safety out of Tennessee. He came up and made the hit.
Well, right there at the bottom of your screen, he comes in, knifes through, and bang, knocks him out. And that, to me, Matthews should have been down, because anything other than the top of your hand touches the ground, the back of your arm touches the ground, you should be down back in the backfield. An elbow, a knee, or a shoulder, that means you're down.
Second down and 10 at the 21. Rivers with time. Bounces out of the pocket. Throws on the run. Floyd is there. But they call it an incomplete pass. Malcolm Floyd just couldn't hold on to that one because Eric Berry was there bringing the heat.
Well, you saw him in the run game just a moment ago making the tackle. Watch as he follows him out, comes up to make this, and boom, knocks that ball out. Great safety play. It's exactly the way a safety can do it. If you can't get there to catch it, make sure the receiver doesn't get it and bring the violence with you.
So that makes it third down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Sproles lines up with Rivers. San Diego 5 of 6 on third down conversions. They need to go to the 31. They drop it off to Sproles. He's got a blocker in front. Watch him. Cuts it inside. Picks up the first. Crosses the 35 and gets to the 36. Tamba Hali with the tackle. But Darren Sproles, a water bug, picks up 15.
That's why this Charger team is so good offensively. They get a tackle in the backfield on first down, a big hit in the secondary for no play on second down, and then on third down, yet again, a huge conversion. Todd Haley is just screaming. The defense comes out with a little bit of fire early on, and only to see the Chargers convert. Wow.
So a first down for San Diego at their own 36. Mike Tolbert in the game now, and they give it to the bruising running back who lowers his shoulders. And Tolbert gets to the 40. You have to credit A.J. Smith and Ed McGuire, the two men that run this Charger program, because year in and year out, they find guys like Mike Tolbert. They find players that you just don't expect them to be able to get, and all of a sudden they become very, 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 very good players.
Well, they get guys from, Western Illinois, Coastal Carolina. I mean, these guys aren't like playing on national televised games, and they come into the Chargers, and all of a sudden they find out they can really play.
Second and 7 at the 39. And outside, Tolbert trying to turn the corner, but unable to do it. And he's Studebaker. And no gain on the play.
And this Chiefs defense knew going into halftime they'd given up 3 touchdowns. Their offense can't get anything going. They're going to come out and have to make a physical statement. But they're playing against a Chargers team, and you look at this. Today,
third
big difference.
That's right. Third down and 7 at the 39. They're 6 of 7. On third down conversions, Darren Sproles in the game again. Philip Rivers out of the gun. Rivers over the middle, and it's caught. First down, San Diego. Javier Arenas with the tackle, but Kelly Washington, the former Baltimore Raven, who's always been good on third down, gained 17.
And Kelly Washington hasn't even been here all that long. But they came in, brought him in, and he's been getting better and better, more comfortable. Philip Rivers has started using him, and with all the injuries, he's certainly got reps at practice, so no problem. Plug him in, and if necessary, Philip Rivers will draw his route in the dirt with his finger and tell him what to do.
Kelly's been with the Chargers for about 6 weeks. First down and 10 at the 44. Opening drive of the second half for San Diego. Tolbert. And somebody jumped on his ankle. Looks like Tamba Hali. No gain on the play. How about Tamba Hali? 10 sacks on the season, but here's a player that moved from playing with his hand down, Steve, to playing that upright position as a linebacker, and he plays the run just as well as he plays the pass.
Yeah, and you think about it, as a guy that, he's a first-round draft pick in 2006, and he started with his hand down, a little bit undersized for a guy with his hand down, but he's got great speed and great quickness, and he plays with great leverage. And with his hand off the ground, give him a chance to move around, he's really been a different player.
Tom was 6'3", 275 in his 5th year out of Penn State. Darren Sproles at the bottom of your screen. Rivers dumps it to him. Sproles with the run after the catch, and he gets to the 30 as Brandon Carr makes the tackle, and it's a 13-yard gain.
Well, the Chiefs are winning on 1st and 2nd down, but you know what? It doesn't matter because the Chargers are getting every 3rd down that comes up. Sproles with so much room. Brandon Carr's got no shot. Are you kidding me? Sproles could run circles around the average population. Brandon Carr's a little better than that. He manages to get him, but not after converting only after converting the 3rd down. Sproles has been a big weapon in this half.
Makes it a 1st down and 10 at the 30. 9th play of the drive for San Diego. That started on their own 21. Tolbert slicing. And he'll dive inside the 30 down to the 29. Eric Berry. And they're getting a little chippy out there now, Steve. That's the way you like them.
That's right, yeah.
You like them when they're chippy.
Hey, the Chiefs got some pride. I mean, they've earned it. I mean, they're not a bad football team, and they're getting lumped up here early in the 2nd half of this game in San Diego, and they don't like it. And the Chargers, even though they get no gain on that 1st down play, they're moving this football. Philip Rivers is having a day. Norv Turner can call any play he wants, and the Chargers seem to be getting it done. And the Chiefs, you can tell their defense is getting a little frustrated.
Philip Rivers so focused, so passionate when we talked to him on Friday at their facility. And a whistle prior to the snap. Looks like a false start coming up.
Delay of game. They didn't get it. The play clock wound down to 0.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And it's interesting because that was because of the pushing and shoving after the last play. The Chiefs wouldn't let the Chargers get into the huddle because they were mad at him for a hold or something up front, and it took them too long to get into the huddle to come back out. You see Romeo Crennel there trying to figure out. There's a defensive coordinator, Todd Haley, hanging around in front of him. You know that they're communicating through the headsets, but Todd Haley not shy about telling his coordinators what he wants.
Romeo Crennel, former head coach in Cleveland, assistant coach to Bill Belichick during their Super Bowl years in New England. Rivers up the sideline, picked off. Yes! And that's Eric Berry. We keep talking about this rookie and his great ability. And they say he has the football. He did bobble it as he headed out of bounds. We'll see if it stands, and that's what Philip Rivers is looking for right now on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, and that's going to be the question. Now, he'll see him. He doesn't quite have control of it. 2 hands and the tap right there. Yeah, that's a good interception. It looked like it might get overturned because, he doesn't have, but he got 2 hands there and both feet. Perfect interception by the young guy, Brandon Flowers.
3rd interception. Back after this. Welcome back. And we have a challenge on the field. Was it or was it not an interception for Eric Berry? And Steve, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's an interception. You'll see here he's got it right there, and then both feet come down. And you'll watch as he goes out. Look right here. Norv Turner doesn't think he caught it. He's saying no way, and that's why he did it.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It is an interception. San Diego will be charged with their 1st time out.
And Norv Turner didn't even wait for that replay. He was watching with his own eyes, saw the bobble, and really didn't believe he got his 2 feet down. But Eric Berry, what an acrobatic, great play right when the Chiefs needed it most.
So the Chiefs take over at their own 16-yard line, 1st down, trailing 21-zip.
Well, for a team that's in desperate need of a spark, that may have been it for the Chiefs, but they've got a very deep hole to climb out of against a Charger team that's been playing outstanding in every phase of the game.
From the 16, Mike Cox, Charles in the backfield. Here's Charles. And he may have gained a yard. Castillo on the bottom of the pile. They're going to have to open it up for Brodie Croyle. It's real simple now. I know Kansas City wants to run it. That's their bread and butter. But right now, The success isn't coming running the football down 21-zip.
No, it's not, and that's one of the things we spoke about in the first half. This is not a team that's built to come from behind, but sooner or later, you've got to throw caution to the wind and let Brodie Croyle air it out. At least that'll open it up for the run game. Maybe you can get a big run.
Second down and 9 to the 17. They continue to run, and San Diego stuffing it again. As Charles gets to the 20, Kaysen with the tackle, a 2-yard pickup.
And you talk about that defense of the San Diego Chargers, riddled for 250 yards last week, and it's like we spoke about early in the game. What can be a weakness in the NFL one game can be a strength the next. The Chargers proving it today.
San Diego just shutting them down. As you take a look, only 37 total yards today for the Chiefs when they're averaging, rushing-wise, 175. 3rd and 7 to the 19. Charles, a single setback. Here's Croyle underneath. Cole, incomplete. Dwayne Bowe, the intended receiver. A lot of hot sauce on that football.
I was just going to say, boy, that ball had some pepper on it. This ball gets through the defense in a hurry. Bowe gets it, and if that ball's on target, Bowe's gone. I mean, he's got a lot of space. Weddle's running right at him. You see Brodie Croyle needed that one. He just needs a break, something to get his confidence back. Seems like it's been forever since the Chiefs completed a pass.
5th punt of the game for Colquitt. He stands inside the 4. Kaysen back deep at the 30. High spiraling punt. Kaysen from the 29. Bounces it outside. Whoa, what a block. Down the sideline, out of bounds at the 45. But some major wood being laid on the field. A 60-yard punt, a 25-yard return. And there's a flag on the play.
Oh, Steve Gregory really laid out Javier Arenas.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down, San Diego. Timeout.
Take another look. Steve Gregory. D. Cleater. And welcome back. Ryan Matthews back in the backfield for San Diego. 1st down and 10. Second man through is Matthews. And he'll crawl forward and gets to the 35. Let's take another look at that special teams play. Steve, you've been on both ends of these.
Yeah, I have been. You see there, Arenas gets just crushed by Steve Gregory. And I'll tell you, I'll give you a guess at which one's more fun. There you see Gregory get the big attaboy. Players and coaches, it picks your sidelines up. Guys are really helping out. It helped get that return around the corner, even though it was called back.
2nd down and 1. It looks like they may have gotten the 1st down.
Yeah, that was not the penalty. The reason that was called back, that was a nice clean block. But even so, momentum is a very, very difficult thing to quantify, but plays like that, even when things are going your way, a play like that adds to it, and it sets the tone. And your team, your offense comes out on the field with a little more spring in their step, and it's just one more thing that gives you a chance to separate yourself from your opponent.
You would know, Steve, you're considered the best special teams player ever. And a handoff, Matthews.
Oh, I'm the best special team player in this booth.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
I will go on a limb and say that.
You certainly
Even
are.
at my advanced age.
A loss of 1 on the last play brings up 2nd down and 11 at the 35. But you have to have a totally different mentality to play special teams. Not a lot of glory out there.
No, but you just got to want it, and that's what it's all about. And Todd Haley understands it. Norv Turner understands it. The Chargers really struggled on special teams early in the year, and now they're getting it together because of some roster moves they've made throughout the season.
2nd down and 11 at the 35. Sproles as he crosses the 40. And you know, on the theme of special teams, Chargers special teams, as you mentioned, Steve, they've been a disaster this season. They've had 5 kicks blocked. 3 kicks have been returned for touchdowns, and they've had 2 turnovers. So the Chargers have the top-ranked defense and the 2nd-ranked offense, but they are only 6-6 this season, largely because of special teams.
And that's Steve Crosby, their special teams coordinator. And I'll tell you what, you know, the fumble, you saw that last right there. Sproles last week fumbled the punt to give it back to the Raiders. You know, sometimes that stuff happens. Sproles is an excellent return man, but even bad things happen to good players.
3rd down and 4. Rivers taking all day, and he's finally sacked. That'll be the first sack of the day. Ball came out. Kansas City says they have it, and they do. Tamba Hali comes up with the sack. Gilberry at the bottom of the pile, and he dug it out.
Well, watch, Holly's going to get his hand on it. Rivers, just as he's about to tuck it and run, the ball gets out. Tremendous play by Holly. Give the Chiefs a chance.
Maybe the break the Chiefs needed. So Tamba Hali, the hero, Philip Rivers having it smacked out of his hands. 37-yard line now of San Diego for KC. They hand it off to Charles as he follows his blockers, and he gets to the 33-yard line, a 4-yard gain. Let's take another look at the fumble, Steve.
Yeah, and this is just Philip Rivers. It's been going so well for him. I think he just felt confident he could stand in there and hold this ball. So you see him looking around right at the end. Holly just working as hard as he can against Jeremy Clary, the right tackle. Finally comes free. Clary didn't do a bad job. That play took a long time to happen. Clary held him out, but Philip Rivers just felt confident he could take extra time.
2nd down and 6 at the 33. Croyle out of the shotgun. Here's a draw play. Charles. And no gain on the play. Nuabu with the tackle. And that brings up 3rd down and 6.
You could say what you want, but you tell me the Chiefs aren't committed to the run game. They're down 3 touchdowns deep in the 3rd quarter, and they're handing it off on 1st and 2nd down.
Is that wise?
Well, no, they're not getting enough yards. They need to move the football. They need some chunks of yardage. They're going to have to change their tack if they're going to try and win this football game.
Chiefs are 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 6 is the 33. Croyle, play fake, steps up to the sideline, caught. Dwayne Bowe with the reception and a flag in the backfield.
Number 67, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, it's 3rd down still, but I think this is 4-down territory for the Kansas City Chiefs anyway. And that's the only penalty the Chiefs have gotten all day, and it comes at a crucial time. You see there, no question, Richardson horse collars. Yeah, he horse collars Sean Phillips, and that brings the play back. But I think this is 4-down territory, Gus. I think they're going to go for it no matter what. And I think Brody Croyle already knows that, and so does Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator. This is 4-down territory.
3rd down and 16 at the 43. They need to go to the 27. Thomas Jones in the game now. Croyle looking, rolling, throws on the run. Incomplete. Ball knocked away by Quentin Jammer as he reached around and deflected the football, and that'll make it 4th down and 16.
Yeah, I think Quentin Jammer goes right through the back of Dwayne Bowe. And this is very close to being a penalty. Jammer's, you can see him going all the way over the top of him through his back. He keeps his hands free, which is why the official doesn't think there's contact, but he's draped all over Dwayne Bowe. And I think because they didn't get any yardage on that, that's the only reason they're punting this football. Otherwise, Todd Haley is notorious for going for it on 4th down, but there's just no way in this situation.
Dustin Colquitt stands at his own 43-yard line. And this one off the side of his foot. Picked up Kaysen. And he's wrestled down to the 10.
It was a smart move.
38-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Andy Studebaker with the tackle on special teams. We want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing aerial coverage of all the drama below. Look for the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 and 2, where they pass through a town near you. San Diego is hot, leading this game 21-0. 1st down and 10. And Matthews. The running game has been the story for the Chargers today.
See that? And everybody's getting into the act too. Tolbert, Matthews, Sproles. really been consistent. You see Tolbert getting into the end zone, even handing it off to Vincent Jackson. Jacob Hester getting into the act. I mean, they're handing it off to everybody, and that has opened it up for Phillip Rivers in the passing game as well.
Second down and 6 at the 15. Tolbert, cut back. Flag on the play. Tolbert gets to the 28-yard line. Derek Johnson with the stop. It's a 13-yard gain if it stands.
Holding, number 61, offense. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
That's Nick Hardwick.
Yeah, that's the center down inside. Let's take a look. Right there is the guy giving the ball to Rivers. Oh, I see. He got his arm across the chest there. Such an important game. You think most times these players really push the limits. Not these two. They've really played a clean game.
Makes a second down and 13 at the 8. Hand off Tolbert. And he'll get to the 10, maybe the 11.
Now you see, now this is why the difference in these two teams. The Chargers, 3 touchdowns up. They're going to start handing it off and taking it easy, letting the clock run. And the Chiefs just on the opposite. They're going to have to start throwing it around. They have not done that to this point. I think they're late in doing it. But both these clubs on different ends of the spectrum. North Turner would like nothing better than to see you have a running clock. And Todd Haley needs to get big chunks of yardage on his offense.
Third down and 10 at the 11. The handoff, Sproles. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. North Turner playing it conservatively. 21-0. We'll return to San Diego after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back. 21-0 San Diego. Chargers ready to punt. Mike Cyphers punting out of his own end zone. Dexter McCluster inside the 40. Cyphers another rocket punt. McCluster the 32. And oh, heads flying as McCluster crosses the 40 and gets to the 44. Chris Wilson throwing caution to the wind. He tackles it and loses his hat. $21-0 Chargers as the Chiefs take over. They have the football at their own 43. And you keep expecting Todd Haley and his Chiefs squad, Steve, to open things up a little bit. They've been ultra conservative with the backup quarterback in, Brody Croyle, who is 0-9 in his career as a starter. First down to the 43, Croyle, and sack. No time, English. Third sack of the day for San Diego, second of the day for Larry English.
Well, that's not going to do much to instill confidence. Todd Haley's not going to think about coming back and dropping back on first down and throwing it again after that. Brody Croyle, you'd like to see that ball out of there, but man, there are 3 guys falling around him. It's not like he had all day to throw that football, but that's, you know, one reason they're in this hole is because Brody Croyle has not been able to throw the football.
Second and 16 at the 37. Croyle down the sideline for Bo. Oh, he dropped it.
Oh, my goodness.
Brody Croyle put that ball on the money.
You said it. I watched it. I mean, he's going to get some separation. You see a little push off right there. Hand fighting. Oh, and Kaysen got a hand on it.
Good job.
Kaysen got his hand on it and knocked it away. That sounded like it hit Bo right in the shoulder pads, but he never saw it. He never had a chance at that one. Great job by Antoine Kaysen.
Third down, 16 at the 37. Croyle sets up a screen, and it's deflected and knocked down. And that's Antoine Barnes.
Just what he's supposed to do. Get in the throwing lanes. Great heads up. He almost pulled it in. Watch, he gets two hands on it. And that's why he plays defense. I mean, those guys, if they could pull that in, defenders would probably be on the other side of the football a lot of times. But that was a great job by Barnes on the pass rush.
So Colquitt will Kasich standing at the 15. Short punt out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 21-0 San Diego. Chargers playing some great defense. Antoine Kasich.
Football field, been a physical presence, of course, on the last long throw to Dwayne Bowe. Knocked it away. Great defensive play.
First down at the 28. And Matthews spinning. Mike Vrabel just there to stop him after a 3-yard gain. Second down and 6 at the 32. Phillip Rivers rolls out of the pocket. And he'll just dump it. Great defense that time by the Chiefs. Everybody covered on that play.
Yeah, Tyson Jackson really made the best defensive play at all. Watch him right here. Watch him grab Darren Sproles. That's who Phillip Rivers wanted to throw the football to. It was a screen pass. And Tyson Jackson grabbed Rivers' receiver, wouldn't let him get out.
The ball got back to the line of scrimmage.
And that's an explanation as to why there wasn't intentional grounding, is because Phillip Rivers rolled out. But Tyson Jackson saw that play and read it. They did not want to let Darren Sproles get his hands on the football in any space.
So Phillip Rivers faced with a 3rd and 6 at the 32. They're 7 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Rivers over the middle, and it's caught. Kelly Washington again, and a flag on the play.
This is in the secondary, and it's going to be against the Chiefs.
Holding number 34, defense. The penalty has declined. Result of the play is a first down.
That's Travis Daniels.
Right there. You see, this is a little hesitation post, and he got him right there, held him right at the line of scrimmage, trying to get off. Kelly Washington making a great catch and a great route. That's why you pick up a veteran in the middle of the season, a guy who has subtleties in his pass routes. 8-year veteran Kelly Washington.
The pitch, Matthews. And Matthews to the 50. Jovan Belcher, Mike Vrabel combining on the tackle. And it's a loss on the play of 2 yards.
And you see it, aside from that last play to Kelly Washington, the Chargers kind of pulling in the sails a little bit, handing the football off, not doing anything outlandish, not too many throws down the football field, very conservative. With a 3-touchdown lead, they're perfectly content just to make some first downs and get out of this stadium today with a win.
Second down and 12 at midfield. Phillip Rivers firing up top for Jackson. Got it! Vinny at the 6, but a flag on the play.
Well, so much for being conservative for the Chargers.
Personal foul, shot block, number 22, offense, 15-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, Jacob Hester. And what happens is a chop block is when an offensive player blocks a defensive lineman low when they're already engaged with another player. Hester comes in, and that to me is not a chop block. But the official called it. Hester looked like he was the only guy that was gonna block him. And then after Hester took his shot, the defender, you see, he's working right there against Johnson, and both defenders get it, and it kind of bounced into him, and I can see what the official saw. Nevertheless, that's a penalty.
Norv Turner is livid.
He does not agree with it.
5 penalties, 42 yards today for San Diego. Rivers underneath. Kelly Washington making people miss, and he gets close to midfield. Derek Johnson with the tackle. One more look at what this game is all about, especially for the San Diego Chargers.
Well, you can see what will happen to the top of the division if these two teams trade a game. Kansas City 8-5, San Diego 7-6, and San Diego
has an
easy schedule down the stretch.
Todd Haley knows they have to play St. Louis in the Governor's Cup next week. And they end their season against the Oakland Raiders, who would love nothing more than to spoil things for their arch rival. Rivers. Randy McMichael with the grab at the 35, and that's good enough for a first down in front of John McGraw. A 15-yard gain on 3rd and 13.
And a 3rd and 13, another third down conversion, which has been the absolute story of this game for the Chargers. They just have been so tough on 3rd down. The Chiefs defense can't get them off the field. You see there Tamba Hali making the big inside loop, getting to Rivers a hair late. Rivers standing in there knowing he's coming, still delivers the ball. Look at that, 9 for 12 on 3rd down. That's enormous.
Kansas City 0 for 8. First down at the 36. Hester in motion. And the handoff to Matthews. He goes outside. No gain on the play. Brandon Flowers ushering him out of bounds.
Norv Turner covering them. Everybody always covers their mouth when they call plays like they're going to get their lips read so they can. That is so crazy, but everybody does it. They're superstitious. They're suspicious. They don't trust anybody.
Second down and 10 at the 36. Sproles with running room. And Darren Sproles has really run the ball well. Jovan Belcher with the tackle, but Sproles, 5 carries, 38 yards.
They are just really running the football well against the Chiefs. You see there, Derek Johnson comes through, is free in the hole, and Darren Sproles is just too quick and has too much space to get around him. Chiefs not in a bad defense with a guy in the hole ready to make the tackle, but there's too much space, too much movement by the offensive line. Gives them a chance to run for close to the first down.
San Diego eating up a lot of time on this drive. Here's Rivers, and Rivers tackled and taken down by Tyson Jackson on 3rd and 2.
You see if Philip Rivers just gets dragged down short of the first down, which will bring up a field goal opportunity, but nice tackle there by Jackson. Moving off, and that counts as a sack on a play where Philip Rivers, if he'd have slipped that out, that was a first down. There was nobody there in his way.
Nate Kading in to attempt a 48-yard field goal. Nice draw on it, and it's good. 48 yards for Nate Kading. And San Diego up 24-0. Welcome back. 10-play, 42-yard drive for the Chargers as Nate Kading nailed a 48-yard field goal, and San Diego takes a 24-0 lead. Kading will kick this one right into your living room. Tucker back deep. At the 20. And Tucker grabbed at the 30-yard line and brought down. So after that field goal, they're playing that song here in San Diego. The Superchargers up 24-0. First down for the Chiefs at their own 32, down 24-0. Brody Croyle finds Bo, and Bo advances all the way up to the 45-yard line, and that's a gain of 13. Flag on the play, though, on the far side at the 34.
Illegal formation, number 67, offense. He was lined up on the end of the line. Number 75 had reported as eligible and was correctly lined up on the left side of the line.
Well, you'll see he's on the end of the line. There has to be a receiver lined up on the line of scrimmage outside of him. At the top of the screen, they were off the line of scrimmage, so that makes him look like an eligible receiver, which he's not. Right there you see he's lined up correctly.
So it's first down at 15 to the 27. Croyle throwing and incomplete. The ball intended for Tucker. So Brodie Croyle is 0-9 as an NFL starting quarterback. You have to go back to his days at Alabama to find his last win. Nearly 5 years ago, in January of '06, he threw for 275 yards in his final college game, and Jamie Christensen kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired to give Alabama the Cotton Bowl win over Texas Tech.
Well, all is not lost for Croyle. There have been other players who went on to nice careers after starting worse than 0-9.
Two of them are Hall of Famers. Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, 215. Second and 15, rather. And it's incomplete. Intended for Tucker again. Kaysen standing on the play.
Yeah, look at this. Aikman in the Hall of Fame, Warren Moon in the Hall of Fame. Stan Gelbaugh is a former teammate of mine. He was not in the Hall of Fame, but he is the first ever MVP of NFL Europe back in the day.
Brodie Croyle, 7 of 17, 40 yards. Third down, 15. At the 27, they need to go to the 42 for first down. Here comes a blitz. Croyle in trouble, and he is sacked. Luis Castillo on the bottom with the tackle. And Kansas City will have to send it away again.
Yeah, Brodie Croyle just got to learn just to throw this football away. If you're not going to get it off, you got to get it off. You got to throw it. I'll tell you, Brodie Croyle's taken over for a guy, Matt Castle. Doesn't get a lot of attention, but Matt Castle has quietly put together a very, very good year for the Chiefs, and a huge part of their offense is missing today.
Colquitt punts. Kaysen from the 22. Kaysen down the sideline. Kaysen still running and finally wrapped up at the 35 by Tucker. A 50-yard punt and a 42-yard return.
And look at this. It's how bad it is for the Kansas City Chiefs offensively. If you look at their yardage, fewest yards in a single game is 61 in 1963, and you look here, they've only got 52 so far today. That's a bad day for the guys in the red helmets.
And now a challenge flag has been thrown by Todd Haley.
Like he almost tried to hit the official with that one. I think he's challenging, there's no question, he's challenging the spot of the ball. This is all about field position right now. He thinks Kaysen stepped out of bounds well before the 36-yard line.
Kansas City is challenging the ruling on the field that the punt returner was not out of bounds.
Right there it is, right there. And he's right.
7:02 to play in the fourth. Back to San Diego right after this. Welcome back on the field.
We gave him maybe an extra 5 yards or so.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. Kansas City will be charged with its first timeout.
They must have spotted it right where he stepped out. And it was hard on their replay to see which yard marker it was that he stepped out, and that's where the official spotted it. Todd Haley thought he stepped out of bounds well back up the field, and it's not the case. I mean, that's a frustration challenge right there. Yeah, and that's, to me, that's not the 36-yard line, because that's, I don't know.
So the Chargers break the huddle at 36. Mike Tolbert back in the game. Here's Tolbert running low. He gets to the 32. That's a 4-yard gain. Right now, this San Diego team just wants to eat up the clock. The time of possession, San Diego 36 minutes and 23 seconds. Kansas City 16 minutes and 35.
This is the point of the game where you start thinking about the big picture if you're the Chargers and the Chiefs as well.
2nd and 6. Vincent Jackson in motion. Tolbert. No gain on the play. So let's take a look at what the Chiefs and the Chargers are facing over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's 4-7 coming in today. 2 wins and 3 wins there. And St. Louis is a tough out. It's fighting for the division. St. Louis still in the mix in the NFC West. Oakland took it on the chin, but that's the last game of the season, and it may have some meaning in the division. Oakland 4-0 in the AFC West as it is.
3rd down and 6 at the 32. Phillip Rivers with another handoff, and it's a 1st down and some. Sproles. A 16-yard gain. Eric Berry, Kendrick Lewis there to stop it.
Yeah, and this is an attitude run. This is on a day when the Chiefs can't do anything defensively. The Chargers want more and more. The Chiefs want this to be over, and the Chargers don't want it to end. This is just so well blocked by the offensive line up front. You see Dielman coming around from the left guard spot all the way around to the right side to lead Sproles through the hole.
53 yards rushing for Sproles. 1st down, and the pitch to Matthews. And he spins and goes down, almost lost it. As Jovan Belcher was there. 404 total yards for San Diego. And they were so disappointed at themselves. Had no excuses whatsoever after last week's loss to the Oakland Raiders.
Absolutely. They said the Raiders were a very good football team that they had a handful trying to beat. They didn't make any excuses, said the Raiders just took it to them. But, you know, this is a Charger team that was on a streak before that game and remains a very good football team.
2nd down and 8 at the 15. Another handoff to Matthews. And they push the pile forward. Tyson Jackson. 1st man 2. It's a 5-yard gain on 2nd and 8, so that brings up 3rd down and 3.
You know, more than any other team, the Chargers, and sir, many of their fans have told them, yeah, they know this. They start out so slow and then finish with a flurry to squeeze it out. They've won this division a few years running. I mean, for 4 straight years they've won it, and they've done it in kind of the same fashion. They start out very slow, win, like go 2-5 or 2-4, and then finish with a flurry to win the division.
3rd down, 3 at the 10. And some movement on the line of scrimmage. Sean Smith may have jumped offside.
Yeah, there was a chief that jumped off sides, and then the offensive lineman jumped off sides. But if the offensive lineman rears up and reacts to a defender in the neutral zone, it's on the defense, not the offense, unless the offensive player is more than 1 or 2 men removed. You see up here at the top, but down inside here, see, now that's way outside. If that's far enough away that the official doesn't deem that he reacted to the defender, it could still be on the Chiefs.
False start, number 73,
Yeah.
offense.
He was too
5
far
yard
away.
penalty, still 3rd down.
It's Marcus McNeil.
Because he was so far away from the Chiefs defender that jumped into the neutral zone, they didn't feel it was a reaction, and it's an illegal procedure penalty.
So instead of 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 8 from the 15. Ryan Matthews turns a corner, stays on his feet. Touchdown! 15 yards.
Ryan Matthews has made a couple of runs like this today where the defense gets a good shot at him and he just won't go down. Keeps his balance after Vrabel lets him go, and then the defense just over pursues to the outside as he plants his foot. Vrabel can't get him on the ground. He stays on his feet, crabs his way through the defense and gets to the end zone. Great hard-nosed run by Matthews.
So the 15-yard touchdown run for Matthews. Extra point is good. Gives San Diego a 31-0 lead over Kansas City. And when you look at the San Diego running backs this afternoon, Tolbert 16 carries, 66 yards. Sproles 6 carries, 53 yards. Matthews 16 carries, 65 yards.
Well done by the San Diego Chargers today. Every facet of the game, they were more physical, more poised, obviously more productive. And they should have been with their backs against the wall. Dallas and Philadelphia tonight. That'll be an interesting game, to say the least. See what Jerry Jones is going to be up to with that franchise. It'll be a nice future to see.
Tucker from the 1. And Tucker hauled down by Mike Tolbert playing special teams. A 16-yard return. So this San Diego team, as you take a look at the scoring drive and looking at their schedule for the Chargers, what do you think they'll be like for the rest of the season? As Philip Rivers told me and you, they have to beat Kansas City and hope that the Chiefs lose to somebody.
Absolutely. Now they cannot, they can finish in a tie after winning, if they win this game with the Chiefs and have a tiebreaker, but they feel they've got to win out, and they could do it.
Tyler Palko comes in at quarterback for Kansas City, and he hands the ball off to Jackie Battle on first down, and he gains 4 yards. Tyler Palko out of Pitt, playing in his first career game. Matt Castle should be back next week. Am I correct, Steve?
Yeah, appendicitis, and they just precautionary. They didn't want him to play this week, but he'll be back in the saddle. He'll probably have a full week of practice this coming week.
Second down and 6. St. Louis getting thumped by New Orleans this afternoon. Here's the pitch, incomplete. Intended for Leonard Pope.
Palko flipping that underhanded or forward with his left hand. Actually put it right on Pope. Watch as he comes out. He's not going to throw this, I don't think, with his right hand. I think he flips it. Look at this. Little option plays. And Pope just took his eyes off of it.
Nothing going right for Kansas City offensively today.
Oh, you said it. That's been the story. Nothing has gone right for Kansas City, and San Diego's hitting on all cylinders.
Last time the Chiefs were shut out, 2008, 34-0 to Carolina. Antoine Barnes with the tackle. And this Chiefs team will punt once again as Dustin Colquitt comes onto the field. But first, the 2-minute warning. 31-0 Chargers. Todd Haley has changed his mind. He doesn't want to set a record for futility. So he needs a few yards on this play. 4th down and 4 at the 23. Over the middle, and Chambers with the catch. And that will keep them out of the negative record books. A 9-yard gain.
Yeah, that got him to 67 total yards, making sure they didn't eclipsed the 61-yard record of fewest yards in the game. Great catch by Chambers, plucks it out of the air. And Palko gets the completion.
Now Palko hands the ball off. It's Jackie Battle. Last time the Chargers recorded a shutout, 2006 at Oakland. And there are some sweeping changes now in the AFC West, with San Diego beating Kansas City.
Well, the lid that the Chiefs could have slammed on the entire division just blew off.
Palko in trouble, and he just tosses it, caught by Leonard Poe. San Diego with the easier remaining schedule.
Now, these are all the playoff eligible teams, so you can see it there. San Diego tied with Pittsburgh. They've got to be thinking run the table.
And the Chiefs step to the line of scrimmage. They'll take a knee with 15 seconds to go. And that'll do it. Todd Haley, Norv Turner. A pep in the step of Coach Turner. And Coach Haley still with that limp.
Yeah, he blew his knee out during the season, during a practice, just trying to help out. Now he's kind of hobbling around last half of the season. There's Norv Turner and Todd shaking hands. Norv Turner got to feel very good now about the way his team played today and their outlook for the rest of the season. Todd Haley knows it's turned into, can the Chargers get back in it, which they helped themselves today, and can the Chiefs hang on to their lead?
So let's take a look at the standings in the AFC West. With the win, San Diego improving to 7-6, 2-3 in the division. Kansas City now 8-5. They'll take on St. Louis on the road, followed by Tennessee, followed by a home game against the Raiders. 31-0, the final score. And the good thing for Kansas City, Matt Castle will be back next week.